Glad to have you back. You're still watching This Week. Up next, more than 11,749 people were killed in violent attacks in Plateau State between 2001 and 2025. And that is according to a committee set up to investigate incessant attacks, killings and destruction in the state. Located in Nigeria's north-central, Plateau State has suffered various forms of violence, including herders/farmers violence, intercommunal violence, and ethno-religious crisis. But the violence has led to the killings of thousands of people and left huge humanitarian crisis in its wake. The fact-finding committee said no fewer than 420 communities in the state were attacked between the period. Well, the 10-member committee, which was inaugurated on 20 May, disclosed further that the attacks were recorded across 13 local government areas with destructions of farms, livestock, houses, and illegal land occupation and grabbing. All right, joining us now in the studio to properly dissect the report on the Plateau killings is the State Commissioner for Information, Honorable Joyce Ramnap. Glad to have you join us on the program.
Thank you very much and good evening.
Yeah, well, let's start this discussion this way. I mean, reading that, people killed, lives lost. These are not just numbers. They are human beings massacred. It's good to set up committees, all right, but there should be a means to a calculated and immediate end, I mean, to these killings. You will agree with me. So now the report is out. What next? I know the governor talked about presenting it to the president and heads of security agencies. Also, when?
Thank you very much and good evening, and I'm glad to discuss this issue again because it's one of those burning issues for us on the plateau. And I think this administration have been able to take a more comprehensive step towards addressing the challenges that we have faced over 2 decades. And this is why this number is this much. And let me say that for us, I want to believe that these numbers are even more than this, because even going by the chairman of the committee, General Rogers, he also mentioned that this is based on the records that they have. Because in some cases, you could have the numbers just 1, 2, 3, and in some communities that are not added up. So by the time we add this number again, you will find that it may likely be over the 12,000 that have been recorded. Well, for us as an administration, it's one aspect that we have vowed to make sure we find a lasting solution, and that is why we took this comprehensive step. And of this committee that was set up, 10 members, only one person, and that's the secretary of the committee, happens to be a Plateau person. We sought out for the best we could get across sectors. We have DSS represented, we have journalists represented, we have the civil society, we have a high court judge, retired high court judge, and all of that to make up the membership of this committee, so that we get to get a true picture of what has been going on in Plateau State. I recall that here in this studio, I had also mentioned when we were having some of these challenges some few months back, that a lot of this has to do with the land grabbing tendencies, a lot have to do with terrorism, genocide, and all of that that are related to what we're having. And the complexity of it has to do with mining activities on the plateau and all of that. And for our administration, we made sure that for every aspect of this problem, we try to look at a way that we could deal with this issue. 2 days after the governor was elected, not even sworn in, 2 days after, his community was hit back to back with attacks. And so coming in again, he had to make it a priority to set up several committees to look at these issues.
Now, 420 communities have been attacked recently.
Yes.
Nearly 12,000 lives.
Yes.
One thing, when I was reading this thing, Joyce, one thing that jumped out or jumps out to you is the fact that they are deliberate. I don't understand that. Is this a case of vendetta, retaliation, or bottled up animosity over time?
Well, I do not want to say that it's retaliation, because if there's retaliation, probably there could have been provocation before now. And if I'm talking about land grabbing, that's not retaliation. When people are sleeping in the night and then you come to the community and kill people, kill children, that cannot be said is retaliation. I wouldn't want to call it a vendetta either, because of the peculiarity of the issues. These are some elements with criminality coming with different like I call it like their purpose of wanting to bring destruction on the state, and this is why
that's why the word deliberate jumps
of course it's deliberate, but when you say I'm just trying to explain why it shouldn't be seen as vendetta or it shouldn't be said to be a retaliation, but it's a deliberate attack to destroy our economy, to also grab the land of the people, and to say it all, it should be genocide. And with the major challenge that we have been having in all of this is that it's something that has been playing out. It keeps playing, like we always would report to you. It's always at its height during the time of our farming season. Plateau State is an agrarian community. Okay, so during the planting season, you find that there's a surge in the attacks that happen on the plateau. Now there's a little calmness around it. Okay, even though there could be pockets of areas, and then surge. It goes high.
Surge during the farming season. Why?
It goes higher because the idea is to stop the people from farming. Now that the farming seasons are over, towards the period of harvest, you will see that again will probably play out again.
I want to get out as much from you. The committee says most of the attackers often come from Plateau, from Nasarawa, Kaduna, Bauchi, and Taraba states.
Yes.
Why are they targeting Plateau? Well, I think you've mentioned because but okay, why are they coming from the states, and who are they anyway?
We have different, they come under different names. Okay, we have the challenge that comes from the Nasarawa axis. Nasarawa, Plateau State borders Nasarawa from Bokos Kwampan axis. Now Bokos axis is where we had one of our worst hits in Hutsi, which is the closest community we have to from Wamba. Wamba is in Nasarawa State. So, and then because of the topography of these areas, they come in the night, do whatever havoc they want to do, and then they leave again from that axis. Obviously, we also have elements of the Fulanis coming in from this, and the report is very explicit about that. They also mention those Fulanis attackers coming from that area. And then Kwampan. Kwampan is one other area where the elements that operate more in Kwampan are those they call the bandits. They also do a lot of kidnapping and all of those related crimes around Kwampan axis. Now, from Langtang South, Wase, Kanam, you find that the elements that operate around that are still those they call the bandits. They come from the Taraba axis and then they attack from there. All these areas, it's either we have large, vast forest reserves and all of that. They attack in those areas again and then they move from those areas.
Right, we're talking motives now. Motives are varied. Motives are varied. I mean, from what I have here, you have a struggle for land and resources, territorial expansion, ethno-religious dominance, political destabilization, and outright criminal profiteering through kidnap for ransom and cattle rustling. Now, my question is, from what the committee has done and what the governor is intending to do, how do you, when I was thinking about this, I said, do you departmentalize? But I used the word separate. How do you separate or place these issues to really tackle them?
This is the point I'm also trying to make when I explain to you that they come with under different guises. Like you have those that are out to grab the land. If you understand the land, the area of Plateau State, you understand the interests. The interest is more for cattle
rustling.
Not rustling as such. The land is really fertile. Okay, Plateau is a very fertile land. It works for cattle rearing. okay? Then the mineral resources, it works very well for those that are into illegal mining. Now, those ones come with the name, either they are the bandits or whatever they do. They do a lot of operations around the illegal mining that we're also having as a major issue again, and that is some form of sustaining their activities. So they attack communities, displace the people in the community, and then they do all of that. Illegal mining in those areas, and then they leave the people without their base again. That is another axis where we get this operation from. Bauchi area, we also have challenges again coming in from Jos East to Riom local government. We also have the same problem again from Kaduna State coming into that Riom axis and then to Barikin Ladi. But for every area you find, there's certain things that is the attraction for all the issues that we suffer. I'm not going to limit it to all the people that come in and go out of Plateau. Yes, we also have those within Plateau State. But one thing that is certain is that the narrative that has been sent out there on the issues that are happening in Plateau, with this report, I'm sure that we should be able to have a headway to say, oh no, it's really not much about
We're looking at getting solutions here. Talk to us about Operation Rainbow. That's what the governor calls it. Governor says 1,000 are being sent in for training and peace building agency. Okay,
can I just talk about the effort so far that this administration have done coming into office? And that was why I brought in the background of how he also encountered the challenges. So for us, we also try to get short-term, mid-term, and then the long-term approaches to deal with the issues. For short-term, we also try to look at the challenges with our areas. And like I said, they always would attack in the hard-to-reach communities. So the government supported the security operatives by getting the rugged motorcycles that could cover those areas as a short-term measure. We also try to build a social say security or social understanding with the people by putting up the religious inter-religious dialogue committee that could also advise the government and also relate with those communities that are hurting to be able to, in a way, calm the community so that there will be no much of bitterness amongst the people and it will not shake our own peaceful coexistence as a people. That is some of the measures we took in as short term. Now, Operation Rainbow is one of that which we saw as a government as our long-term measure to be able to deal with the challenge, because no security operative coming from anywhere will understand your terrain better than you operating within your domain. And this is why we felt that as a state policing should be the solution that we look at with the elements of community policing, because it's easier for you. And when you go to these communities, mind you, you find these people say, oh, we saw so person amongst those people who came to attack us. You get to find them, call names for you on the people that they have seen them and all of that. So you see the element of community policing coming to play there. So for us, we felt that the solution around this thing should be in that regard. Of course, we also try to look at our own like a communication center. We also invested in trying to get technology, drones to map out our boundaries, and then get drones to also give us live footage of this movement. But somehow we sometimes have challenges on being able to understand why sometimes this movement is not detected on time and all of that. But these are all the areas that we have done. Now, for us, for those people that have been displaced in their communities, the state government has also taken measures to ensure that the land that they have been driven out of, the government will cultivate those areas. So far, we have been able to cultivate about 900 hectares of those lands, to cultivate it, and then at the time of harvest, some kind of sharing formula to be able to sustain those people that are not able to go back to their communities. All these are measures that we have put in place to be able to
I'm sure you want to add this, the fact that the governor talked about about intensifying early warning and response mechanisms to safeguard
that is one of the core duty of the Operation Rainbow, and this is why we're also trying to get the Operation Rainbow to be fully functional and then to have them spread across the state. And this is why we're training the 1,400, about the 1,400 we're training.
Okay, good. I did that the ad hoc committee. There was an ad hoc committee set up by the House of Representatives. Their focus is dialogue. That was in 2024. Have they done anything as yet?
Well, I would leave that to them to decide what they have done. But for us also, we also took the measure to look at those that are already displaced. We have another committee that is looking at the people that have been displaced and the best way to resettle them. So we also have this committee that is helping us to be able to handle that as well.
One just hopes that with this, with what the committee has done, which the governor says is presenting, he didn't get to tell me when, but he says it's presented to the president.
It's such a bulky document.
And the heads of security agencies to work with.
Yeah, it's such a bulky document that we have to, again, reduce it into probably series to be able to handle the issues that have been raised in that report. Mind you, that report also used as data other reports that have been done in the years past. Since it's from 2001, you know, we also had the Nikitobi reports and all of those reports that we have. So we are also going to look at them again and segment it to be able to take it to Mr. President to find a solution.
And the heads of security agencies. You talked about serializing the findings. I'm sure that's what you're talking about there. All right, thank you so much, Commissioner for Information, Plateau State, Honorable Joyce Ramnap, for being on the program.